Masechet megillah daf Yud Chet. So we're holding currently in the middle of the seder, the structure of the Shmona Esrei. We're explaining why the Brisa previously said that you cannot read the Shmona Esrei backwards. Every bracha has to come one after the next. So we're seeing how from the verses we're seeing that everything has a structure. So now we are holding currently at Retzei. Retzei is called Avodah. Right? That's what we say in the bracha of Retzei. So we're holding four lines from the top. וכיוון שבת תפילה בת עבודה, שנאמר, או יסיכם זבחיכם לרצון מזבחי. וכיוון שבוס עבודה, which is רצי, בתה תודה, תודה is modim. שנאמר, זובח תודה, יכבדני. So after זביחה, זובח is עבודה. After זביחה we have תודה. מה ראו לומר ברכת כהנים אחר הודה? Why do we say ברכת כהנים after הודה, after modim? דכתיב וישא אהרון את ידיו אל העם, בברכם וירד מעשות החטאת והעולה והשלמים. So we see that first he does the bracha. So first we see that he did the chatas and the ola, and then he went down to give the bracha. So it says me'asot hachatat ve'ola, as in he had just done the avoda, and now he's giving the bracha. So from here we see that after avoda we have the birkas kohanim. I said, wait, maybe first of all he does the birkas kohanim and then the avoda. Since the structure of the verse is first bracha and then avoda, says the Gemara, lo yisaka daitach, dichtiv vayered me'asot hachatat. So the mem, miktiv la'asot, ma'asot ktiv, me'asot ktiv. So la'asot would have meant that first he did avoda, first he did birkas kohanim and then avoda. But the mem is meaning that he's already done this and now he's doing his birkas kohanim. Ask the Gemara, why do we say the birkas kohanim after avoda and hoda, after ritzei and modim? Maybe do ritzei, then birkas kohanim, and then modim. So the Gemara, lo yisaka daitach. No, we could never think such a thing. Why? Dichtiv zoveach toda. We see that after zvicha we explained already as avoda. We do toda, which is modim. Ask the Gemara, instead of basing your knowledge from the verse of birkas kohanim that it's avoda and then birkas kohanim. So and avoda, as in after avoda we have hoda, like we saw earlier, zavach toda, and then we have birkas kohanim. Base your knowledge on the second verse, the verse that says that immediately after birkas kohanim, after avoda we do birkas kohanim, right? Instead of learning from the verse that says first avoda and then hoda, learn from the verse that says first avoda and then birkas kohanim. So the Gemara, mistabra, avoda vehoda chad milsahi. There's a svar to say that avoda and hoda, they aren't two separate things. Ritzei and modim aren't two separate things. Yes, ritzei is talking about korbanos and hoda is talking about God, but like Rashi says, it's the same thing. Saying thank you to God is also a form of avoda. That's why it makes sense that we do first the ritzei, then modim, and afterwards we do birkas kohanim. So the Gemara, why do we say sim shalom after birkas kohanim? After the Kohanim give their bracha, God gives his bracha. And what's God's bracha? Peace is God's bracha. So that's why after birkas kohanim we do God's bracha, which is sim shalom. It says the Gemara, why do we say that Shimon HaPakuli is what invented Shmona Esrei? Since we have Achikes Abdullah that invented Shmona Esrei. So in the Brisa, in the previous daf, it says the Gemara, Shechachum v'chazav yisiduhum. People forgot the structure of Shmona Esrei. So Shimon HaPakuli retaught the structure. But he's not the creator of Shmona Esrei. The creator of Shmona Esrei is obviously Anshe Knesset Agula. Mikan ve'ilach, asur saper v'shimchosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. After this, after the Yud Chet brachas that we have, you're not allowed to add your own personal brachas. Make up your own brachas and your own ideas of glorifying God. Why? Only somebody who can say all the qualities of God can speak about the gevuras of God. And since nobody knows the qualities of God, since God has no qualities, therefore you cannot praise Him. Anybody talks about God's characteristics too much, gets pulled out of the world, which is basically some kind of charas or chiyuv misa. שנאמר היסופר לו כי ידבר, יאמר איש כי יבולה. So we see in Eov that somebody who speaks about God, he gets yebula gets swallowed. דרש לנו איש כפר גוברי ומלא איש כפר גיבור חייל. מה דכתיב לך דומיה תהילה? It says in the verse, לך דומיה is quietness. Tehillah is great. So being quiet is great. What does this mean? The cure for everything is being quiet. Being quiet is the best quality. Not speaking a lot. Like if you want to buy something in the shop, you want to buy words, buy them for one tzela, and two, buy them for two slime. Like basically, shtika is more expensive than dibur. So shtika is better quality. Being quiet is better quality than speaking. Karal Pelo Yatzav said in the Gemara, in the Mishnah of Yizan Aleph in chapter 2, that if you read the Megillah Baal Pei, not Yotzei. Ask the Gemara, what's the source? Why do I have to read it dafka inside the book? Amarove asks Schir from Amalek. Ksiv HaChavim Ha'el Niskorim. Ksiv HaSam, it says over there in regards to Amalek, Ktov Zot Zikaron Basefer. So you see that in Amalek, the way to remember Amalek is through the Sefer, right? Zikaron Basefer, inside the Megillah, not Baal Pei. As it were, how do we know that the Schira in Amalek is reciting the words? Maybe just thinking about Schira about Amalek. It says in the Gemara, Zachor. It says in the Torah in Megillah Amalek, Zachor al tishkach. Why are we saying remember, don't forget? What are we learning from these two words? So look, the Gemara says, Zachor Yachor Balev. One would thought the word Zachor means in the heart. Just think about it. So we already know from the word Lo Tishkach that in the heart. So what is the actual wording? We can learn from here to remember it with our mouth and not with our thoughts. So in the Megillah, in the Mishnah, that if you read the Megillah in Aramaic, not Yotzei. As it were, if the Megillah is written down in Hebrew, and he read it in Aramaic, he's reading about Pech, since he's not basing his reading on the verse, he's basing it on his own thoughts. That the Megillah is written in Aramaic, and he's reading in Aramaic, and then he's not Yotzei. Okay. We can read the Megillah to people that are let's say French or Spanish, in French or Spanish, whichever language they are. Let's say we're in, I don't know, wherever we are. Okay, we read it in Germany, so we read it in German. That's how we would read the Megillah. Okay, so we're permitted to read the Megillah in a different language when it's towards those people who speak that language. Ask the Gemara, how does this make sense? So you said earlier in the Mishnah that if you read it in any language outside of Ashuris, outside of Lashon Kodesh, you're not Yotzei. So how is it that now you're saying that you can read it in another language? Rabbi Shmuel say that the Mishnah is talking when the guy is reading it in Greek. So he's reading it in Greek towards other Greeks. Hey Chidomi, what's the case scenario exactly? Even if it's Ashuris, if it's written in Ashuris and he's reading it out loud in Aramaic, it's Malpeh. The Megillah itself was written in Greek, and he's reading it in Greek. Okay. Now we're going off topic for a second. How did the God called Yaakov El? El is one of the God's names. So God called Yaakov a God. Now, the Nefesh HaChaim in Shar Aleph says that the godly quality in man is the free will, the power to choose. So how do we know that God called Yaakov El, called him a God? It says in the verse, Vaikra lo. So God called Yaakov El. Who called him El? Elohei Yisrael. Elohei Yisrael called Yaakov El. Ask the Gemara, so something like this. How do we know this? These are Yaakov El. If we want to think that maybe the verse is talking actually like this, that Yaakov called the Mizbeach that he used to serve God, he called the Mizbeach El. And the Hebrew is wrong. They should have written the verse, Vaikra lo Yaakov boile. So I said Vaikra lo Yaakov. Why does he just Vaikra lo? Why isn't Yaakov the one mentioned, the one speaking towards the Mizbeach? So we can hear from here, Ela Vaikra lo le Yaakov El. Ela Vaikra lo Yaakov El. Mikroel Elohei Yisrael. From here we see the opposite, that actually who is being called El? It's Yaakov, not the Mizbeach. And who's the one calling? Elohei Yisrael. Alright. In other words, we make a brayso that contradicts what we said earlier in the Mishnah. We said earlier in the Mishnah that Rabbi Shmuel explained the Mishnah that's talking about Greek. It's being read in Greek towards other Greeks. Says the Gemara, basically, remember Bryce that negates this. Kara gifterit. Giftit. Giftit is an ancient Egyptian. Iblis is ancient Hebrew. Elamit, Modis, Yavanis, Lo Yatzach. So we said even if you read it in Greek, you're not Yotzei. We explain the Mishnah that reading it in Greek, it's kosher. We have a Bryce that says that if you read it in Greek, you're not Yotzei. Says the Gemara, Holedamia Elaleha. It actually matches this Brysa. What Rabbi Shmuel said actually matched this Brysa. What does it say this Brysa? Giftis the giftim, Iblis the Ivrim, Elamim, Leilmim, Yavanis, Levanim, Yatzos. We see that if you read it in Greek, for example, right? Yavanim, Le'Yavanim towards other Greeks, then you're Yotzei. Or you read it in French or Italian towards Italians or French people, then you're Yotzei. That's what Rabbi Shmuel meant. They didn't mean to just read it in Greek. It meant to read it in Greek towards a crowd of Greek speakers. Ask the Gemara, wait, why did Rabbi Shmuel explain the Mishnah as talking about Greek? Should talk about also French and English and Spanish and all languages. Why Dafka Greek? Since it's about the crowd and not about the language, then why Dafka Greek? Say all languages are kosher if the crowd speaks the language. And so really the Mishnah is like the Braysa, that in a Hanami. When you read the Megillah in a language that the crowd speak, it works. Now, what did Rabbi Shmuel talk about when they said that it has to be in Greek? Reading the Megillah in Greek towards anybody who even doesn't speak Greek, it's kosher just like Ashuris, just like Lashon HaKodesh. That Greek, even if you don't understand it, if I read to you the Megillah in Greek, you're Yotzei even though you don't understand a word. Just like you're Yotzei if I read it to you in Lashon HaKodesh. Ask the Gemara, wait, we have a Bryce that contradicts this, that only it's a Greek crowd, not any other crowd. They hold the Rabbi Shmuel, that's why they say that, just like Ashuris works for everybody in the world, so too does the Greek. Since Rabbi Shmuel has a special sheet that holds that Greek works for everybody. Ask the Gemara, instead of saying a Memra, a Gemara that refers to Rosh Gamliel, they should just say openly, hey guys, me and Shmuel, Rabbi and Shmuel, we both hold that halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, that Greek is kosher like Hebrew. Why are they saying a Gemara, and from the Gemara it's clear. To answer the Gemara, we would have thought Dafka other books. But Megillah, it says in the Megillah, if you read the Megillah in this order, this language, that's why we would have thought that the Megillah is always possible. Even according to Rav Shimon Gamliel, it's possible in Greek. That's why we needed Rabbi Shmuel to teach us that you can read the Megillah also in Greek. Even though it says in the verse, Kiksava. Alright, next piece. It says in the Mishnah that if somebody does not speak a word of Hebrew, and they listen to the Megillah, they're Yotzei, since the Megillah was read in Hebrew. Because the Hebrew is Yotzei everybody. I said, why am I Yotzei? If I don't speak Hebrew, how would I be Yotzei by hearing the Megillah in Hebrew? Answers the Gemara, it's just like women in Amar, since they don't understand the Megillah, and they're Yotzei, so too is somebody who doesn't speak Hebrew. Ravina says, Tachlis, there's words that even Talmud Chachams don't understand. We have no idea who the Achashteranim Bnei HaRamachim are. We have no idea who they are. Yet we read it every year and we call ourselves Yotzei, even though we have no idea who these people are. So from here we see that the whole idea of the mitzvah isn't to understand the Megillah, it's to read the Megillah. And because the mitzvah is to read the Megillah, if I heard you read the Megillah, I'm Yotzei. Even though I didn't understand the Megillah, it's enough to hear the Megillah. We said in the Mishnah, if somebody reads the Megillah, serugin, means he reads, stops. He's Yotzei. Ask the Gemara. Says the Gemara like this. Rabbis have no idea what the word serugin means. They heard the cleaner of Rebbe, the slave, the shechach kanes of Rebbe say, to go to the Rabbanon paski Rebbe. The rabbis used to enter, when they visit Rebbe, they would enter in groups. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. They wouldn't all enter at once. So she yelled at them, how long does it take you guys to just walk in all at once, instead of sirugin? So from here we see the word sirugin means taking breaks. Next piece. Rabbis didn't know what the word chalog logot meant in a Mishnah. Sorry. So we see from here that this vegetable called pechine is indeed the word chalog logecha. So from here the rabbis understood, oh, that's what it means. It's that plant. Next piece. It says in Tehillim, salsela u'teromeka. They don't know what the word salsela means. The guy was playing with his hair. She said to him, so what are you going to play with your hair? So we see from here that playing with something is misalsel. Said to God, you're Yahav. Didn't know what the word Yahav meant. Once I went with this Arab, and I was carrying a tuna. A tuna is a weight. And he said to me, so you see that weight is what Yahava means. So send your weight towards God. They didn't know what the word meant. What does that mean? That she said to her friend, take the broom and whip the realm. So they understood from her that the word tetesisa is referring to a broom. Guy reads Megillah, Serugin, which means stop, reads, he's yotzei. Seirusin, lo yotzei. If a guy reads Seirusin, which means backwards, he's not yotzei. Ramimuna, remember guys, the Shita, Ramuna, very important to remember this. It's going to be enough coming for the rest of the Gemara. Ramuna, Omer Shum Rav Yehuda, Af b'Serugin, Im Shak, If a guy reads the Megillah Serugin, as in he reads, stops, if the break he takes is as long to read the entire Megillah, then he's puzzled and has to start from the beginning. אמר רבי יוסף, הלכה כרמימונה, שאומר משום רבי יהודה. רבי יוסף הלכה זה כרמימונה. אמר לי אביי לרבי יוסף, כדי ללמוד כולה, מהיכא דכל לספר, או דומה מרש לספר. Abai said, does it mean, when we said if you stop till you can finish the whole Megillah, does it mean from where you stopped? Let's say the whole Megillah reading is 30 minutes. Let's say where you stopped, there's 10 minutes left. So is it waiting for 10 minutes from where I'm holding to the end? Is that enough to make you go back to the beginning? Or is there always the same number as 30 minutes? If I wait for 30 minutes, then I have to go back to the beginning. Yes? How long do I need to wait? The answer to him, Rav Yosef, when we said to take a break, we meant from beginning to end. Why? Because if every person had their own hour, their own time, let's say I was holding 10 minutes away from the beginning, from the end, you're holding 5 minutes away from the end, so each person would have their individual time, so we can never really we would never have a structured halacha, it would just be in the air. That's why it makes sense when the rabbi said that it's puzzle, it makes sense that they meant puzzle for everybody the same. From the time it takes to start the Megillah till the end, which everybody rounds up the same, which is 30 minutes, more or less. So Rav says halacha is a Ramuna, that if you wait from beginning, if you wait as long as it takes to read the entire Megillah, you go start from the beginning. Shmuel said halacha is not Ramuna. Besu Masnoachi, Pumbedis that different gears. Masnoachi, Amarav Kahana, Amarav. It wasn't Rav Abba, it was Rav Kahana. Amarav, Halakramuna Shmana, Enachak Karamuna. Rav Bibi Masne Ifcha. Rav Bibi said the opposite. Ramar Enachak Karamuna. Rav said Allah is not like Ramuna. Ushmona Enachak Karamuna. Amar Bibi said Nakud Rav Bibi Yadcha. Rav Bibi makes it probably the right gears. Why? The Shmuel the Chash Lechidoy. Since Shmuel is the one, according to Rav Bibi, that Shmuel is the one that's saying Allah is like Ramuna. Ramuna is a Yechidah. He's a one-man opinion. He's not the rabbis. So it makes sense, since Shmuel always likes being posek halacha like the one, like the Yechidim, it makes sense here that Shmuel will be posek like Rav Huna in regards to the Megillah. How do we know that Shmuel likes being posek like the Yechidim? The Mishnah, it says in the Mishnah, Masechet Yevamos Daf Lamalach, Detnan, Shomeret Yavam, Shekidesh Achi Betachota. What's a Shomer Yisrael? A woman who's waiting to become a Yavama. Her husband died. The brother of the husband she's waiting for the brother of the husband to marry her. Okay, so the Mishnah says. שומרת יבם, שקידש אחיו את אחותה. A shomeres yavam, where the brother of her husband married her sister. Yes, her sister, the Yavama's sister. So the Mishnah says, Mishum Rabbi Yehuda b'Beseira Amru, Omrim lo, we tell this man who already married her, he already did kiddushin. He hasn't done nisuin yet. He hasn't taken her to chapa, but he's already done to her kiddushin. We tell him, Hamten, wait. Wait until your older brother, because the oldest brother is the one that does the ibum naturally. That's the according to the Gemara of Masechet Yevamos. That's the maskana. in chapter 2, that the older brother is the one that does the Yibum. So wait till your older brother to do the Yibum, and then marry his sister. Why? So guys, listen carefully. And then do the Nisuin. So guys, there's something called Achois Isha. There's a halacha that you cannot marry the sister of your wife. You can't. It's a Doraisa. Now, this Yavama, she's not your wife. Yeah? But there is something called Zika. Zika is it's Machlokas Rashba and other Rishonim, whether it's Doraisa or Dermanan. But the idea is that you are already, each brother shares a bond to the Yavama. Let's say there's 5 brothers and 1 Yavama. Okay? So this one is married to each and every one of these 5 brothers already. The Yibum is just finishing what already is there. That's what the rabbi said. That's what Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says. If you're one of the brothers, yes, and you want to marry her sister, don't marry her sister since you're going to be doing the Vera of a Chosisha. Because you're already married to the Yavama, you can't marry her sister. Wait for your brother to do Yibum, and then your connection to the girl will be disconnected from the Yavama, and then when you marry her sister, it will be a clean Kiddushin. That is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. The rabbis chalak on him, the rabbis have their own opinion, it's not relevant for now. But the idea is that we see that Shmuel follows Rabbi ben Beseira, so he follows a Yachid, not a Rabbin. So it makes sense, just like Shmuel and Masechet Mustaf and Memalef is supposed to look like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira in regards to Achosisha and Zika with the sister. So too, Shmuel here is supposed to look like Rabbi Muna in regards to Megillah reading, that if you wait for the time of the Megillah from beginning to end, you get to start from the beginning. Tanu Rabban, it says on the right side. He shmid ba'sofer otiyot, but the sofer leaves out words, or psukim, v'karan ha'koreh ken meturgaman, ha'metargem yotza. So if the guy leaves out words or psukim, but he read the Megillah in Aramaic, he's yotze. Has a Gemara basically, but Bryce contradicts this. Hayu ba'otiyot metushtashot, or mekuraot, im rishon nikar ksheva, but not psula. So what do you see from the Brisa? That only if you can clearly read the Megillah, it's kosher, if not, it's possible. How did we see previously that the guy leaves out words and letters and stuff in the Megillah that's kosher? We see from here that you have to have the whole Megillah clear from A to Z. Lo yikashia. This isn't a question. Why? Only when the whole Megillah is unclear, as in there's missing letters here, missing letters there, psukim here, psukim there, then it's possible. But maybe when only a small portion of the Megillah has issues, then the rest of the Megillah is kosher, even though there's missing psukim and missing letters. Since it's only in a small portion, not the entire portion, it's kosher. By the way, guys, this is halacha ma'aser and hilchos purim. Tanu Rabbanan Rabbi Brisa. He shmit ba'koreh pasuk echad. If the reader misses out one pasuk, lo yomar ikrat kula v'achar kach ikrat oto pasuk. Let's say the guy reads the whole Megillah. He misses out one pasuk from chapter 5. He keeps reading chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9. He can't go back to chapter 5, read that pasuk, and then continue on forward left off. If you miss a pasuk from chapter 5, even if you're holding in chapter 8, I don't care. Go back to chapter 5, read the verse that you missed, and you keep reading from there onwards all the way to the end. So לא יאמר לקראת כולם אחר כך אקרא אותו פסוק, אלא קורא מאותו פסוק ואילך. נכנס לבית הכנסת, the guy enters a shul, מצא ציבור שקראו חצייה, לא יאמר יקרא חצייה עם הציבור ואחר כך יקרא חצייה, אלא קורא אותם מתחילתה ועד סופה. מתנמנם יוצא, we have in the Mishnah that says that if somebody is asleep, that they're yotze. If the guy reading the Megillah is asleep, he's finally passing out, he was still yotze for himself and for others if he was mitnamnem. So he wasn't fully asleep, he was mitnamnem. Ask the Gemara, what does mitnamnem mean? Amar Rashi, nim guys means asleep. The word nim means asleep. Nim v'lonim, tir v'lotir means he's asleep, not asleep. Awake, tir is awake. Awake, not awake. They call Oni. If we call him by his name and he answers, let's say his name's Alex. We call, hey Alex, and he can answer. But he doesn't know how to answer anything that has to do with logic. Like we ask him, how do I get from here to the bakery? So he can't answer that question because he's too tired. So again, he can answer, if you call his name, he'll answer you, but his logical part of his brain is not working. And he can remember things. If you can remind him things he can remember, that is the geder of misnamnim. But any less than that, the guy doesn't answer his name when you call him, or the guy cannot remember things that you remind him, then he's way too asleep and he's not yotze. Okay, next piece. Hakotva dorsha u'magia. The guy was writing the Megillah. Okay? So he was writing the Megillah, or he was dorashing, he was explaining it, or he was megia, he was fixing it. If the guy had kavanah to be yotze, then he's yotze, if not. Ask him, what's the key scenario? What does it mean he was writing down the Megillah? What does it mean? If the pshat means that he mesader the psukim, as in he reads a balpeh, says the word balpeh, and then he writes what he said. Then he says again another verse and then writes it down. Another verse writes it down. It's balpeh. Balpeh's puzzle. And because of psukim so now we're taking a new pshat. He writes down the verse and then he says it. Writes down the verse and then says it. That also isn't good. Halacha is like the opinion that holds there's a machlokes in the Gemara whether the Megillah starts from the first chapter or from the 5th chapter. There's 9 chapters in the Megillah. Where does the Megillah start from? Does the Megillah start from the first or from the 5th? There's machlokes. So the Rav says halacha is like the opinion that we read that from like the whole thing from Aleph to Tet. Even according to the opinion that says that it starts from chapter 5 from Ish Yehudi, the whole Megillah has to be written down before you start reading it. So how could it be kosher if a guy writes a pasuk and says it, The whole Megillah has to be mamish done from A to Z. Ela the mancha Megillah kamei. The Megillah, there's a whole Megillah written in front of him. V'kol Megillah mino psuka v'kosav lo. So guys, imagine there's a Megillah right here, okay? And I'm the guy, okay? I'm him. So I would be looking at the Megillah and read the verse, write it down. Read the verse, write it down. Read the verse, write it down. So I'm reading from a kosher Megillah. The Megillah reading is absolutely perfect and kosher. And I'm taking the words and I'm writing them down in this Megillah right here. That's what the Mishnah is saying. The Mishnah is saying that in that case scenario, it's kosher. If you had kavanah to be yotze. As the Gemara, so okay, that's it. So the Gemara, this Mishnah that's teaching us this hanhaga, this way of life, that we look at the book and we write, supports Rabbi Rochana. Rabbi Rochana says that you need to read every time you, as a sofer, when you're writing down a Sefer Torah, you need to look at the book and then write. Look at the book and then write. There's a halacha in Shulchan Aruch. So you have to look at what you're reading and then write. Yes. So we see from the Mishnah here we can bring proof to that hanhaga, that way that you look at the book and then you write. So the Gemara maybe the Mishnah, our Mishnah talking in a case where that happened to be the case scenario, but lav dafka that's not the way you need to write the Megillah and write be a sofer. Okay, so we still don't have a proof for that. Okay, this is a more interesting Gemara. Now we're reading what we just said, that you cannot write a letter even or a word in the Torah until you've already, it's copy and paste. You've got to copy from what you see in the Torah and paste it onto what you're writing. You can't just randomly write things as a sofer without first confirming that it's in the Torah. Even if you know the whole Torah Baal Peh, we don't care about how smart you are. I don't care if you finish Shas. You got to look at the Sefer Torah and then write. Amar Meisiv, remember Bryce that contradicts this. Amar Rav Shimon Elazar, Meisiv Meir Shalach, the story about Rav Meir, Shalach le'alber shana ba'asi. He went to Asia to make a month, to make a second Adar. V'lo haya sham megillah. There was no Megillah in Asia, right? Asia, there's no Megillahs there. Uktava milibo kara. He wrote. He says he knew the whole Megillah Baal Peh. He wrote the whole Megillah and he read it to himself. I'm poor. So you see that you don't need to copy and paste. You can memorize the Megillah and write it from your memory. Amar Ravo, Shani Rav Meir, the Mekayim Bei Ba'Papech Yishru Negdecha. Amar Li Rabbi Machon Le'Gbir Me'Yidifti. Ma Ba'Papech Yishru Negdecha. What does this verse mean? Amar Lo Elu Yidritovo Dichtibo Hata'if Inecha Boi. So we see, Hata'if Inecha Boi Be'inenoi. It says about the Torah is like if you close your eyes for a second, you lose the Torah. The Torah is very easy to forget. So the verse that's saying Ba'Papecha Yashiru Negdecha, that your eyes, it's referring to the Torah, will be cleared in front of you. So we see that Rav Meir, he was mamish at that geder, he was at that madriga that he knew the whole Torah Baal Peh. Even though the Torah is super very easy to forget, he still knew the whole Torah Baal Peh. That's why Rav Meir was allowed to do this, but normal people can't do this. Okay. Rav Chizda who's writing books with Baal Peh like Rav Meir. You're a Talmud Chacham, and really the whole Torah can be written from you. What do you want? There's a halacha. I understand that you're the Gadol Torah, and the whole Torah could be written from you. You know the whole Torah Baal Peh, but still there's a halacha you got to write from inside the book. Answer the Gemara. Rav Meir is different. Why is he different? Even though he knew the whole Torah Baal Peh, still he needs to follow the halacha. Shania shasat chak shani. When you're in Asia and you have no other way to do it but this way, then you're allowed. If you have another way, then you have to read it from the book. Then you have to copy and paste. If there's no other way, you don't have to copy and paste, you can just do it from memory. Abaye, next word. Abaye, he allowed people of Bar Chavu, which are people who sold tefillin, to write tefillin and mezuzahs not from the ktav, not without copy and pasting, just Baal Peh. Kiman, who is this whole like? Ki hai tana tanya, Rabbeinu. Tefillin mezuzos. Nichtavot shelo nichtav. Tefillin mezuzos, you don't need to do them from copy and pasting. You can just do Baal Peh. Then sirtut. Sirtut is the lines that we write on top of the tefillin, and the bottom, and top one on the bottom. So Allah Shabbat what's Allah Shabbat? Tefillin ain't sirtut. Mezuzot tzrichin sirtut. Mezuzot tefillin do not require sirtut, and mezuzot do. Idi ve'idi nichtavot shelo minachtav. Ma'itayim mishum demigras glisim. Since tefillin and mezuzahs, the gear says clear to us that we do not need it to be in front of us. We don't need to copy and paste it. We can do a Baal Peh. This is the end of the Masechet Megillah Daf Yirchet.